All right, we are here for round 3 against our opponent, Boss Ross 2. Um, I don't know if that's Tom Ross. Sometimes they call him Tom the Boss Ross. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm playing against some Star City Games alumni over here. Who knows? Um, but as far as this hand, it's kind of a slow hand. We have 2 lands, we have 2 dragon fodders, and we have 3 Lordy type characters. Not the best hand, but I don't see a reason to mulligan it. So we're going to go ahead and keep. Opponent plays a Marsh Flats. We're going to F6 during his turn. A Tarkus command might be useful. Who knows? We're going to Wooded Foothills, and we will fetch it probably at the end of his turn. He's got a Watery Grave. He is peeking at me. Ooh, so peaky. Yes, sir, you've got a bunch of goblins coming your way. Maybe I'm actually playing against the ghost of Bob Ross. Maybe Bob Ross, the famous painter. Maybe he passed away and his ghost somehow got trapped inside of Magic the Gathering Online, and he's gonna paint some happy little trees for me. Who knows? Taking damage from Watergrave. Come on, you know you want to do it. You know you're playing against goblins. Oh yeah, take that damage. You take that 2 damage from your lands. Gonna Thoughtseize me. That's a bad card to play against this hand. I guess you could take our Tarkus command, but honestly, I have so much redundancy in this hand. You're literally just taking 2 damage for no reason. I guess, you know, you gotta prioritize. I can't see what his hand is. Maybe he's trying to protect his hand from something. Maybe he is trying to protect his hand from a Tarkus command. He took a Reckless Bushwhacker, though, which, again, you know, maybe he just didn't have another play there, but he's really not hurting our hand with something like Thoughtseize, so we're fine with that. All right, I don't see any reason to get a basic, so we'll get the Stomping Ground. We drew another land. He could have a Spell Snare here. If he does, I'm not gonna be super upset, but it does slow us down. Could also have a spell Pierce. It looks like he's got something. He's got a Stubborn Denial. Yeah, this is most likely some sort of Death Shadow deck. Could be Esper Death Shadow. Stubborn Denial typically gets played in Death Shadow decks these days. So losing out on our Dragon Fodder. And if he is playing Death Shadow, that does make sense as to why he would Thoughtseize, because you want to take damage to make your Death Shadow better. Yeah, he's taking so much damage from his lands plus Thoughtseize. This is definitely a Death Shadow deck. And there it is. Death Shadow is a nice 3/3. Double Death Shadow. Retro boyos. I think we're in trouble. Goblin Grenade is an interesting card to have in this hand. All right, we're gonna play another Dragon Fodder. If we were to Goblin Grenade, we would do it to kill one of his 2 Death Shadows. I don't think we're at such a low life total right now, though, that it's that important to get him off the table right now. I think he's probably just going to leave them up to block. So we're going to go ahead and just pass through. Unfortunately, like I say, we had a slow hand, and this is one of those games where we really, really need to be able to race our opponent. And right now, he is really winning the race. He's got Bobble. There's a Gurmag Angler. Oof. Just woof. All right, so he's going to get across with both of his Death Shadow. All right, got to think for a second here. We could Goblin Grenade the Gurmag Angler and then Reckless Bushwhacker. Then we are coming across for 6. That puts him at 4. But then both of his Death Shadows are lethal. We could Goblin Chieftain and hold up blockers, but that feels really bad. This is a sticky situation, guys. It's a really sticky situation. I do not think that we have a good way out of this. We could theoretically, he might try to burn his life total down. He only has 1 card left in hand. He could try to burn his life total down to get us to lethal. And then we can Tarkus command, but that doesn't seem very likely. I think what we're going to do is we are going to Goblin Chieftain. And we're going to leave our dudes back. And If he has lethal on board, then we'll start blocking. If not, we'll just we'll let him through. Because we have a lot of burn in hand. Atarka's Command plus Goblin Grenade is a lot of burn. He has displayed counterspells, though. He's got Fatal Push for Goblin Chieftain. That sucks. One of his 2 cards that he drew was a land. He's just attacking with the Angler. Definitely not a reason to block here. If he was attacking with Death's Shadow with a fetch land open, he could theoretically bring himself down to 7. That would make those 5/5 or 6/6s rather. I don't think there's a reason to block just the Angler though. Dragon Fodder is not a great card here. He probably has a Stubborn Denial. Yeah, I'm not sure what play gets us out of this. Because he's got lethal on board. We have to leave up blockers. So if we Goblin Grenade his Gurmag Angler, we can't Goblin Grenade either the Death Shadows because then he fetches for a shock. That brings him to 7, which will put these as 6/6s. If I Goblin Grenade the Gurmag Angler, that leaves him with 2 6/6s, and I have 2 Goblin tokens. He might try to bring his life total down low enough to attack with both of his Death Shadows, and then the one will come across for lethal. Then I can Atarka's Command to kind of steal the win. I don't think that that's going to happen. But at this point, you know, we kind of have to make some desperation plays. Gonna sacrifice a Goblin. And now, like say, if he attacks with both, even if they're 6/6s, I can block one of them. That puts me at 2. But like I said, it doesn't look good for us. He does know that we have the Atarka's Command too. So, and now I think we just die. Yeah, we're just dead. We are just dead. Unfortunately, we are vanquished. All right. So what do we bring in against this guy? Relics are not bad because he has Gurmag Anglers, and I would assume Tassiger. Electricaries are absolutely not useful. Shattering Spree, he has no artifacts. Atarka's Command, I mean, it's instant speed damage and pumps my dudes, but I don't think there's anything we want to drop for that. Carry Zev's Expertise is a corner case scenario. The thing is, if you take Death's Shadow with it, if your life total is above 13, you're just spending 3 mana to kill the Death Shadow, which is not necessarily that bad. It is okay to steal Gurmag Anglers with. I think of the things that I want to get rid of, I'm going to get rid of Goblin Grenades. I want to get rid of spells, specifically, because he's definitely going to have Stubborn Denials. And that's going to get you know, catch me in a lot of situations. That's one of those reasons why having Mog War Marshal is better than Dragon Fodder. If I bring in the Carry Zevs, what do I take out? Probably a couple of Reckless Bushwhackers or Dragon Fodders. Yeah, Dragon Fodders probably most likely. Yeah. Let's bring in the Carry Zevs, and we'll take out the Dragon Fodder, or take out 2 Dragon Fodders. I don't know if this is correct, but I want to test it to see if it looks right, so we're going to go with that. And we'll move on into the next round. I would like to play first. This is a 2-lander. It is a slow 2-lander. Can I beat this deck without good 1-drops? I think if this was in the dark, I would keep it. But considering I only have 2 mana, which means I really can only cast Dragon Fodder, I think I have to mulligan this. This is a no-lander, but it is a no-lander that would have had 3 amazing 1-drops. Unfortunately, we have to mulligan. This is a 3-land, 5-card hand. We have no real plays, but going to 4 cards suck. So unfortunately, we have to keep. We don't want another land at this point. We will be looking for more action. Could be an argument to say that I should have kept that first hand, but I feel like it's just too slow. I could have gone somewhere with it. It definitely would have been more reliable, but I think against a deck of this caliber, I can't just go with a playable hand. I need to go with a hand that's going to win. Unfortunately, this is definitely not a winning hand, but especially against a deck that runs Thoughtseize. Going to Inquisition. I would probably take Autarker's Command, but Chieftain's another good option. It kind of matters whether or not he has removal spells or not. Took the Autarker's Command. That's probably what I expected. Drawing a land there is kind of a nail in the coffin. I'm going to go a few more rounds back, but if I don't start to draw some absolute gas here, I think I'm just going to go ahead and concede comfortably. I don't think there's a way that I can come back from this. Which I know is unfortunate for you guys as the viewers, because I want you guys to have a video that's got action and spells and things being done and commentary and potentially bad dad jokes, maybe some puns. But unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to deliver that to you this game. Man, he thought scoured 2 of his Death Shadows, though. That's kind of good. It's good for me. Goblin Guide is a good spell. Let's see here. I mean, I can cast Goblin Chieftain. That's the most mana efficient. And Goblin Guide will give him potentially more cards. However, if he has a removal spell, like a Fatal Push, I would rather him cast it on the Goblin Guide than the Goblin Chieftain. Although, to be fair, he does have to sacrifice like a land or a Mishra's Bauble or something to activate the Revolt or whatever the ability is on that. I guess Goblin Chieftain is what we're going to do here, just to be most efficient with our mana. Pact and Negation? What do you got here? Disrupting Shoal? I can see Disrupting Shoal. It's a good card. Can see that in a deck that runs all of about 8 blue cards. I tell you, it feels weird to have a Goblin Guide in hand and not cast it. Very rarely happens. Yeah, Legion Loyalist is cool. Goblin Guide, what you got? He might be struggling to find an actual creature. And if that's the case, actually having a little bit of pressure on the table is not terrible. But he's got like 6 cards in hand. I can't imagine he doesn't have some sort of interaction. Attacking with all creatures. Sack Polluted Delta. Get literally anything. Fatal Push Goblin Chieftain is probably my guess as to what he has. He's got a Death Shadow on top of his library. That's not good for me. He's got Victim of Night. Killing the Goblin Guide. That's interesting. I think the Chieftain probably would have been better. Killing the Chieftain would have actually been 1 less damage. Although, my math is always off when I'm trying to play against a Death Shadow deck because they want to take more damage. Does he get a fetch land here? Or a shock land? No, he gets a basic. I know he's got a Death Shadow in hand because he drew it. He's got a Flaying Tendrils. Wow, okay. It's a good sideboard card against me, I guess. Sure, no, the Goblin Chieftain isn't bad. Unfortunately, that means his Death Shadow is like going to be an 8/8, which is quite the blocker. Probably would have kept the Mishra's Bauble and sacked it on my turn. Just to give me the impression that he had a Fatal Push. I don't know. I guess maybe that it depends on what his hand is. Maybe he needs to draw that removal spell this turn. So we're going to play a Foundry Street. We're not going to attack, unfortunately. Now, I don't think that he can attack this turn unless he's got something to remove my stuff with. Flaying Tendrils does it. Does he attack? He does. Puts me at 14. That's not too bad. Drawing a land is bad. I am not going to play it. I already have 4 in play, and there's nothing that I could top deck that's going to cost more than 3. This gives him the impression that I have a spell. potentially a burn spell, which may cause him to be a little bit more conservative into what he's doing. It also may cause him to like Thoughtseize or Inquisition or something like that. So we're just going to hold on to it. And unfortunately, we need to top deck some Absolute Gas, or we are going to lose this match. Mountain is not gas, so we are going to extend a GG to our opponent. And we're going to ask him if this is Tom. He is saying that this is not Tom Ross. I'm going to ask him if this is Bob, Ross. He says no, but that he does get this so often. Thanking him for the games. So we're going to move on to our next round. We're going into round 4. We are 1-2, which is not the best. But hopefully we can win our next 2 rounds and pull a little money out of this league. So we'll see you in the next one.